lesson, we are going to practice almost every single word skill that you've learned along the way. So I'm going to cover things quite quickly, but I'm going to try and cover everything that we've learned. We're going to start with find and replace. Remember before I told you that you can replace a certain word in a document, and if there's 500 of those words, it'll be replaced with one click of the mouse. Well, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to replace the word cyber with the word internet. So we are going to be using the Home tab, and we are going to go to the editing group, and I'm going to choose replace. In the find what text box, I am going to type in the word cyber, and in the replace with, I am going to type in the word internet, and I am going to choose replace all. And it comes up with a message that said it has completed its search and has made 53 replacements. I'm going to say OK, and I'm going to close. And you can immediately see at the top it says internet bullying and internet bullying instead of cyber bullying. Okay, now obviously spelling and grammar play a big part in a document, and we have to make sure that our spelling is correct. I told you before that it picks up a spelling error and underlines it in red, like over here, and it picks up a grammatical error and it underlines the grammar in green. So to correct a spelling, there were two ways. You can either right-click in the word and choose the correct spelling, or we can go to the Review tab and we can click on Spelling and Grammar, and it'll take you through the document step by step. Can you see it's brought up a suggestion for internet bullies? I'm going to say change all and change all again, and it'll work its way through the document, and now it's come to the grammar error, and it's just telling me it's an order of words, but it's actually not. It should be like this, so I'm just going to say ignore, and they want the bully to be in a capital letter. I'm going to change it all the way through. And once you're happy with your document and you've done all the changes, you can just choose close. And all the changes will have been affected in your Word document. Another thing we're going to look at is using page setup and page layout. That allows you to change the orientation of your page. It allows you to change your margins. It allows you to change the size of your paper. So in the Page Layout tab, in the Page Setup group, I'm going to click on the drop-down arrow, and it allows you to change your margins, top, left, bottom, and right. It allows you to change your paper from portrait to landscape, if that's what you wanted. And it allows you to change your paper size from A4 to A3, etc., etc. Okay, that's our page layout. Another thing it lets you do is it allows you to insert page breaks where you want them. Word automatically puts in a page break when you get to a certain line in a page, but if you want to keep your text together, you can insert your own page breaks. So for today, I'm going to insert a page break before the heading that says, what do you do? And there's two ways of doing a page break. You can either use the Page Layout tab and breaks and choose a page break, and it puts your page break in for you. Or you can place your cursor where you want your page break to be, and on your keyboard you can say Control Enter, and it does exactly the same thing. It puts in a page break for you. Now, if you are typing a long document, it's a good idea to type in page numbers, because if you look at my taskbar at the bottom, it tells me we have got 5 pages. So I'm going to go and put page numbers in. So to do your page numbers, we are going to go to Insert. And in the header and footer group, we are going to go to Page Numbers. I would like my page number at the bottom of the page. And Word, remember, comes up with a whole lot of different styles for you to choose from. I'm going to choose Accent Bar 2. I'm going to click on it. And you can see it's put my page number in that style at the bottom of my page. So another thing we can do is I've shown you before how to insert a text box. Say for instance, I wanted to insert this text in a text box. I'm going to go to Insert. I'm going to choose Text Box. And I am actually going to choose one of the pre-formatted text boxes. Once I've chosen my text box, I'm going to select the text that I want to put in there. And just to recap again, I'm going to go and cut it out. I'm going to highlight where I want it in my text box, and I'm going to paste it. So now it's taken the text from where I originally had it in the document, and it's put it in a sidebar text box for me. Okay, we've covered inserting page numbers and text boxes. Another thing that you might have to insert when you are dealing with a long document is a header or a footer. Now a header, like I said before, is not a heading. It is something that will appear at the top of every single page in your document, although you've only inserted it once. So to do so, we are going to click on Insert. In the header and footer group, we are going to choose Header. I'm just going to choose the first one, and I'm going to type in name of author, because sometimes it's a good idea to know who typed the document. Once I've typed in my header, I just double click anywhere in my document, and if I scroll down, you will see that it appears on every single one of my pages. So that's inserting a header. A footer works in exactly the same way, except that in this case you would choose Insert Footer. So now you might want to change your page color to make your document look more interesting. To do that, we work in the Page Layout tab, and we are going to work in the Page Background group. We're going to click on Page Color, and we are going to choose a color for our page. Once you've chosen a color, it applies the color to your whole document. Another way of formatting your document is to insert a watermark. Watermarks work specifically really well if you are doing a first draft of a document and you're going to send it out to somebody as a first draft. You can put the word draft as a watermark in your document. So again, we are working in our page layout. We are going to work in Page Background. I'm going to click on Watermark, and I'm going to choose Custom Watermark. In my Printed Watermark dialog box, I am going to choose a text watermark, and it does come up with a whole lot of pre-formatted text for you. It's even got the word draft. So I'm going to choose draft. You can choose yourself whether you want it to be diagonal or horizontal. And once you're happy, you can say apply and OK and close. And if you look in the background of this document, you can actually see the word draft in that light blue color. Okay, and that will appear on every single page. I think you can see it better on that page or this page. Okay, so that's inserting a watermark. We are now going to format a paragraph. So the first line of the paragraph is indented, or you can actually choose to indent the whole paragraph. So I'm going to highlight the paragraph that I want to indent. I'm going to work in the Home tab and the Paragraph group. So I'm going to activate my Paragraph dialog box, and in my indents and spacing, I am going to choose a special indent of the first line, and I'm going to indent it by 1.5 centimeters, and I'm going to say OK. And you can see the first line of that paragraph has been indented by 1.5 centimeters. Okay, I'm going to go and review bullets and numbering with you. It's a good idea to use bullets and numbering if you want to emphasize certain texts. So I'm going to apply bullets to the text that I'm highlighting now. Okay, I'm going to work in the Home tab and in the Paragraph group, and I'm going to work in bullets. So I'm going to click on the drop down arrow next to bullets, and then you have an option to choose which bullet you want. I'm going to choose a tick, and you will see that a tick has been applied to the selected text. Okay, in the same way, numbering works exactly the same way. I'm going to highlight the text that I want to use numbering on. Once again in the paragraph group, this time I'm going to click on the numbering button, and it allows you to choose a various number of styles. I'm going to choose small letters A, B, and C, and you'll see that it's applied the A, B, C, D, and E to my selected text. Okay, the next thing you might want to do is tabs. Remember in our lesson about tabs, it helps you to align your text. So if, for instance, I wanted certain things aligned under one another and I didn't want to use a table, I would have to use tabs. So to set a tab, we are going to use the paragraph group again. I'm going to activate my dialog box, and right in the bottom left-hand corner, I'm going to choose tabs. Now, I'm going to choose in the tab stop position where I want my tab. So I'm going to type in 2 for my first tab and 7 for my second tab and 10 for my third tab. But my third tab I would like to be right aligned. So I'm going to choose right, set, and OK. And I'm going to tab. You can see I've tabbed by the arrow. I'm going to type in name, surname, and owing. So then I can type in the name and the surname and the amount owing. Okay, so you can see how nicely all the tabs are lined up, how everything is lined up. If you take a look at the ruler, you can see my left tab at the 2 centimeter, another left tab at the 7, and the right tab that I set at the 10. And remember before, it's quite simple to remove the tabs. All you need to do is click on the tab on the ruler and literally pull it off the ruler, and you've removed the tabs from the ruler. Okay, please remember in between all this that you need to actually save your document. So once you've saved it the first time, it's a good idea to continue saving it along the way. And you can either do that by just clicking on the Save button, or you can use your keyboard and say Control S to save. Both do the same function. You might be asked at some stage to type a newspaper article or an article for a newsletter. Then it would be a good idea to take the text that you've typed and put it into columns. So just to recap on how to do columns, you select the text that you want placed in columns. We are going to use the Page Layout tab and the Page Setup group. I'm going to click on the arrow next to columns. I'm going to choose more columns so that it gives me a few more options. I'm going to choose 2. And you have an option of whether or not you want a line between the columns. I'm going to choose line, and I'm going to say OK. And you can see your text has now been put into 2 columns. So if you don't want to use columns and you don't want to use tabs, we can use tables. Just to recap on how to do tables, we are going to click on the word Insert. In the Tables group, I'm going to click on the drop-down arrow. And remember, you've got 2 choices on how to insert your table. You can either do it by clicking and dragging, however many columns you want, or we are going to choose Insert Table. And then I have a choice of using the up or down arrows as to how many columns and rows I want. So once I'm happy with my columns and rows, I'm going to say OK. And then you can type in your column headings and any text underneath that. remember that you can format the table using the existing table styles. So we can choose any one of the existing table styles to format our table, or you could use your own. And also remember, it's a good idea for numbers to always be right aligned. And remember, if you don't want a column or you don't want a row, you can simply delete it. So you're going to select your column by placing your mouse above the column you want to delete. Clicking on it, we're going to right click and we are going to say delete column. And it works the same with your rows. You are going to select the row you want to delete. We're going to right click and we are going to say delete row. And then in the same way, if we wanted to insert a row, we are going to highlight the row where the row must be inserted. We're going to right click, we're going to go insert row above. And in the first row, I'm going to type in contact details. And then I'm going to format this row so that this heading is centered across both of the columns. Remember, to do that, you right click, you go to merge cells, and then in your normal alignment under paragraph, we are just going to click on center, and we've centered the heading for contact details. Same way you want to insert a column, we're going to highlight where we want our column inserted. We're going to right click, we're going to go to insert, and we are going to choose column to the right. And we've inserted a new column to the right. To sort in alphabetical order or in number order, remember, all you need to do is highlight what you want sorted. In your layout group, we are going to go to sort. It comes up with an option of what you want to sort it by. I'm going to choose column 2 and OK, and it's sorted my information. Okay, just in case you've decided you no longer want your table and you would like to convert your table to text, remember, you just highlight the information that you want to convert to text. We're going to go to our layout tab, and in the data group, we're going to choose convert to text. It's a good idea to always choose tabs. Once you've chosen tabs, you're going to say OK, and you can see immediately that your table has been converted to text by the tab mark in the middle. And on that note, that's brought us to the end of our practice session.